The story of Frieza arriving on Earth in hopes of fighting Goku again in Dragon Ball Z was one of the most intense stories that we've ever experienced following the debut of future Trunks in Dragon Ball Z. But what if I told you that there is another reality to where future Trunks never came back into the past to help our heroes, but instead it was future Gohan? As this story follows the events of Dragon Ball Z with a new and unexpected twist, the course of history is forever changed by introducing future Gohan instead of future Trunks. As once more, if you guys love Dragon Ball and anime, then don't forget to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload. Slap a like down below if you guys love Dragon Ball fan mangas and cannot wait to see more. As once more, if you guys want to go on ahead and check out more awesome Dragon Ball fan mangas from me in the community, then be sure to visit the description box down below and click the Dragon Ball fan mangas playlist. That way you guys can check out all of your favorite Dragon Ball fan mangas and stories. As we kick off Beyond Dragon Ball Z, Hope is Back to the Future manga chapter number 1, as the narration goes on to state, time, a variable notion that offers so many possibilities. On the scale of the infinite universe, we know so much about the Dragon Ball world. But did you know this story? This story happens in the same universe we all know, but in a different timeline. Not long ago, we learned of the existence of gods far surpassing the best warriors of our universe, but that is not the subject of this story. As we take a look at the future timeline, we not only notice a destroyed capsule corp, but also the time machine in the distance. As future Bulma is there with future Trunks, she goes on to state, when you get there, change your clothes. We don't want to arouse suspicion if you meet our old friends. Well, the machine's ready for a round trip, as Trunks proceeds to go on and state, you're really lucky to be going. I would have liked to meet the others, especially my father. Wait a minute. I've got one last thing to do. As Bulma goes on to ask, hey, where are you going, Trunks? As Trunks comes back, he hands over his sword as he proceeds to say, here you go. I wanted to give it to you before you left. It will accompany you through everything. I hope you find it useful. As of course he hands this off to an individual, Trunks walks on over with a marker and begins to write on the time machine. As Bulma goes on to ask, what exactly are you designing for us? As Trunks so casually says, I don't know why, but it was close to my heart. Hope. I'll bring you hope. You have my words, Trunks, as this individual says, with the narration carrying on, what would have happened if a certain warrior had survived his fights to the death in the future and left 2 years earlier before the official chronology, which insinuates the fact that there is a surviving warrior in that timeline, which just so happens to be future Gohan, and instead of future Trunks leaving 2 years earlier in his attempts of not only informing his friends about the androids, but correcting the course of history in which saves his own timeline, but Trunks actually remains as this individual takes off. And we notice how Bulma and Trunks wave goodbye as Gohan boards the time machine in taking off and going back into the past. As he takes off, the narration goes on to state year 782. The time machine vanishes into the sky from an era of chaos. In age 764, a ship from the other end of the galaxy arrives on Earth. With it, Frieza and his father King Cold, who have decided to annihilate the remaining Saiyans. As of course we kick off the manga chapter, Frieza and King Cold arrive on planet Earth, entitled Deja Vu. As the narration goes on to state, Frieza has landed on Earth, and Son Goku will not be present for another 3 hours. As Frieza and King Cold leave their ship, King Cold goes on to ask Frieza, are you going to wait for the Super Saiyan? As Frieza replies, not quite. I thought I'd have a little fun with the Earthlings before his arrival. You two are going to go explore the area. As his minions go on to respond, yes, Lord Frieza. Now keep in mind, this version of Frieza is significantly more powerful than what we saw go down on planet Namek, but immediately as his soldiers take off, out of nowhere, a massive explosion occurs behind Frieza, as one of his soldiers comes crashing down onto the ground. As this infuriates Frieza, he goes on to ask, "I'll make him regret his delay. It'll be a small compensation though, compared to what he's done to me." As Frieza looks up, he notices that one of his soldiers is bleeding from his torso and being held by another individual in the sky. And as we notice the carcass of this soldier having to be brought back down to Frieza, this individual lands before him and dropping the body before Cold and Frieza. And as this happens, Frieza looks on over as he goes on to ask, "Oh, and who might you be?" As from the feet up, we notice how future Gohan is alive, but he's also rocking future Trunks' gi. The jacket, the sword, the pants, the gloves, even the boots. As Gohan goes on to tell Frieza, "I've come to take you out." As Frieza goes on to ask, "Pardon? Can you repeat that? I don't think you know who you're talking to." As future Gohan goes on to state, "I know you very well, Frieza." As Frieza goes on to tell Gohan, "I'm honored that my name is known on a backwater planet like Earth, but you there, get rid of him immediately." As he orders one of his soldiers to take down Gohan at once, just as we've seen in the original Dragon Ball, the soldier goes on to state he's a funny guy. He's only got a power level of 10, as of course right before he shoots his shot, Gohan sticks his hand out and completely force pushes this dude into Frieza's ship. With such tremendous power, Frieza looks on over and goes on to state, "Goods. Well, what are you people waiting for? Attack." As all of his soldiers begin to attack immediately, Gohan charges on in with such speed and precision that he quickly takes down every single person there. And as Gohan lands on his knees, Frieza does nothing but laugh. He's laughing because he welcomes this. As Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu, Krillin, Vegeta, Piccolo, Gohan, Bulma, everyone is completely baffled as to what is going on the battlefield. As Bulma goes on to ask, What is going on?" With Krillin having to state a huge power just appeared and wiped out a ton of little ones. As Piccolo goes on to state, "We'll have to get closer to find out for sure." As of course, just like in Dragon Ball Z, our Z fighters are very cautious, Gohan stands before King Cold and Frieza completely alone. As Gohan proceeds to tell Frieza, "Now, you're next." As Frieza goes on to state, "Did you hear that? He said it's going to be our turn. Such confidence." As Gohan proceeds, "Don't hesitate to fight together. I won't be as easy as Son Goku." As Frieza goes on to tell Gohan, "Oh, so you know each other. But tell me, can I ask you another question?" As Gohan states, "Go ahead." Frieza continues, "Your appearance, these fighting skills, would you happen to be a Saiyan as well?" With Gohan having to reply, "So what if I was?" Frieza continues, "Then, I will eliminate you before Son Goku can arrive here. I've made a mistake over 20 years ago. I should have done my job better." As Gohan smiles in front of Frieza, he proceeds to tell him, "You didn't just make one mistake." As Gohan continues, "You've always underestimated Saiyans, and it almost got you killed on planet Namek. But I have another surprise for you. You should know that Son Goku is not the only Super Saiyan in the universe. I'm one myself." As this revelation completely baffles King Cold and Frieza, Gohan continues to smile. As Frieza then goes on to laugh, he proceeds to tell Gohan, "I don't know if I should laugh or tremble in fear." And tremble in fear he did, because at that point Gohan had just begun transforming and powering up into a Super Saiyan. And as King Cold and Frieza oversee this, Gohan increases his power more and more and more as his hair begins to glow, as his eyes begin to change, as the bodies around Gohan begin to levitate. Frieza says to himself, It's a nightmare, because Frieza can't believe that this is actually happening before his very eyes. As meanwhile, back with our heroes, everyone seems to be baffled as to what is happening. As Gohan goes on to tell everyone, "Don't panic everyone, it's my dad's energy, I'm sure." As Piccolo goes on to state, "Wait, is that really Goku's energy?" While back on the battlefield, King Cold goes on to ask Frieza, "So this is what a Super Saiyan looks like?" As Frieza goes on to state that, "Look, that's him!" As future Gohan turns into a Super Saiyan right before Frieza's eyes. And as Frieza beholds Gohan, he remembers and thinks back to Goku. The hair, the eyes, the glow, the intimidating look. Frieza is not only scared, but incredibly angry. As Gohan proceeds to tell Frieza, "It's time to end you, Frieza," which you have to consider the what if scenario if this actually happened involving Gohan, and how cool of an idea this would be if instead of Trunks having to go back into the past, it was future Gohan instead. And as Frieza cocks back his hand, he cries out, "Don't start believing your lies, Saiyan," and unleashes an attack so massive that Gohan isn't really afraid of challenging it head on, but more or less welcomes it. As Frieza hits Gohan with such an enormous attack, we can even see the attack face to face in front of Gohan as it finally connects. And with this, Krillin goes on to tell everyone it's starting. We have to get to safety, not knowing what exactly is going on the battlefield. As King Cold goes on to tell Frieza, "Very good. This amateur had no chance against you anyway." As Frieza goes on to reply, "A simple warm-up before Son Goku arrives." But then, through the smoke, Gohan goes on to tell Frieza, "I said use all of your power, Frieza." As Frieza looks on, all he sees is Gohan's hand sticking out from the smoke. As Gohan continues, "If you're not serious, this will be a lot harder than you expect." As the narration goes on, so far, not much has differed from the story that you know. However, the course of time is so unstable that you will soon forget everything that you know. As Frieza looks on, the manga chapter comes to a close. Now this is a what-if scenario involving Gohan going back into the past, which I really do enjoy because future Gohan never really had the opportunity to grow in any kind of way aside from being killed by the androids in the future. So seeing this was a pretty cool thing, and I'm not entirely sure if there's going to be a manga chapter number 2, but I will say that this is a very cool scenario because you begin to replace Trunks with Gohan, and their characteristics are different, their level of tone is different, so I can't wait to see what Goku's going to do when he comes back and seeing future Gohan for the first time. But I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. What if we removed Trunks and put future Gohan in this scenario? How do you guys think this would have fared up? And what are your overall thoughts on this entire situation going forward as we continue with the story? Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Once more, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure you guys go ahead and slap a big fat like down below, turn on all notifications, tune back in for the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed, because this to me was a really cool what if in seeing what would have happened if Gohan confronted Frieza again. But I can't wait to see what's going to follow, because as it's stated in the end, the course of history and everything you know is going to blow your mind because of the differences that are going to occur involving future Gohan. So thank you all so much for watching, guys. If you guys are new, hit that subscribe button, slap a like down below, check out the official Dragon Ball fan mangas playlist. You guys can find everything and more down in the description box below. Thank you all so very much once again for watching, and I'll be checking you guys out in the next video. Take it easy, everybody. Peace!
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and all his social media platforms. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be the first to know every time that he uploads a new video.
Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god!
The fuck, Zarbon? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes, but Jesus Christ, that's huge!